Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe. Java.
Good morning, everybody. Wow. Okay, we got the volume very good there. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Thursday, May 2nd, 2024. And listen, I need you to do me a favor and share this post. This is a time of advocacy. We have I'm going to say a young man that's coming in with us that's been doing it for 50 years. And so we're going to acknowledge him, and then it speaks to his character. There are other guests that he and I'm going to go ahead and say rallied to be with us. Maybe we can classify this as a virtual rally for the importance of making sure that personal care attendants are supported. And we have someone with us that it's very interesting. He shared with us something that maybe for those of us that don't have unique abilities take for granted. And it's his PCA that's going to provide that for him. And so we're going to have a very interesting conversation this morning. However, I presume that my two additional guests this morning would not mind this initial acknowledgement. This invitation started from pointing out the fact that my guest here, Bill Henning from Boston Center for Independent Living, has been advocating for 50 years. And so, Bill, I know, the intention here today, your spirit of bringing others with you as we rally around this exudes, but we just wanted to pause for a second and acknowledge your great work that you've been doing and the organization has been doing for 50 years. And so I will allow you to introduce yourself and say hello. Bill kind of already let me know that if we miss some things today, he's going to jump in and be a little bit of my co-host. And so, Bill, welcome to the Java Cafe, sir. We don't have time to change your title to co-host of Java with Jimmy, but welcome, say hello, greet the people, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to bring in Peter and Janice as well.
Thank you so much, Jimmy. It's great to be on the show. I'm director of the Boston Center for Independent Living, which is 50 years old this year, was incorporated in 1974. I've been in disability rights 40 years. And but I've been an activist. I've been an activist since I was about 22, I would say. I started organizing the workers when I was working in the dining hall at UMass out in Amherst, and was managing the dining hall and organizing workers, and threatened to go on strike and got us some increased money. I'm proud of that, but the mission of the day is independent living. Boston Center for Independent Living, which has an office right at Downtown Crossing and out in Fields Corner, has services we provide to people with disabilities in Greater Boston. We help people find housing, get on benefits, get on a career path. We interact with lots of state agencies. We serve about 4,000 people a year. We help them get on the state's PCA program, and we're pretty loud activists. We worked with Greater Boston Legal Services to sue the MBTA. That was a settlement reached in 2006. That lawsuit's still in effect. So if you see improved accessibility, BCIL, GBLS, and 10 individual outstanding plaintiffs from the city and surrounding communities were part of that. We speak out for housing for people with disabilities, and we speak out a lot on Medicaid issues. There's about 2 million people on mass health in this state. It is one of the best programs in the country. And among many things it does is it provides support for personal care attendants. That's consumer-directed service. The person receiving it hires, fires, trains, dismisses if necessary, really directs their attendance. And that's because people have unique lives, unique schedules. We think in ways where we kind of segment people with disabilities or seniors. They're kind of out of sight, out of mind, and this is a popular, but no different than ever. People will get up at different times, may have to go to school, may have to go to work, may need to stay home, may want to get out because it's springtime weather and been cooped up all year. It's real important to have that control, that agency, that integrity. And, the guests here embody that program. There's Peter, who's been on the program since the late 1970s and works helping people get on the program. And there's Janice, PCA from Worcester. And the bond between consumers and PCA is profound. The PCAs are represented by 1199 SEIU. BCIL was part of the effort to create a union for a community that's sometimes we think it's disempowered, though. If you've heard Janice speak at a public event, you think that there's nothing but power coming from her voice, and the same with Peter.
We're going to speak with both of them right now. And so, Peter, I'm sure you don't mind with Janice being in here with all of us testosterone holders. I'm old school. With all due respect, Janice, ladies first, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do. And definitely shout out to my good friend and a few folks over at SEIU. We had Jessica Tang on from BTU last week, and we came up with this thing stating that unions get things done. So please go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll go from there.
Hello, my name is Janice Guzman. I'm a PCA from Worcester. I've been in the union since 2008. They started the union 2007. I came in a year after. I am a delegate. I'm also in the Racial Justice Committee, and I'm currently the elected executive council for the 58,000 PCAs in Massachusetts. So I sit in the top ranking filer at the table at this current time, and it's a term for 3 years.
So we're going to circle back with you and check in around the services that you provide, those that you represent. But I want to also introduce Peter, Peter, please introduce yourself. And I made reference in the introduction to some things that we take for granted, and we sort of chuckled about it. And I would love for you to share that here, because I think it really, in the most simplest way, drives home the importance of what folks like Janice and others do. So Peter, welcome to the Java Cafe. Janice, you as well. Welcome, Peter. Please introduce yourself and tell us in one word after your introduction, how important PCAs are to you in one word.
Okay. In order for me to do that, I just have to give you a little background about me.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
So you understand my story.
Yes, sir.
I grew up in the 60s and 70s. And during that time, people with disabilities were put in institutions. So I went from Children's Hospital to Lakeville Hospital, and finally to the Mass Hospital School. So the importance of PCAs to me, it means freedom. I now have the ability to make my own choices in life. I am able to work because of the PCA. I'm able to get out of bed, to eat, to get cleaned. Without PCAs, all the laws in the world that protect people with disabilities would do me no good. Because if I can't get up to access the benefits of those laws, what good are they? So freedom is the word I describe.
Freedom. Okay, so Peter, I told you all we have our notes and whatnot, and Bill already said if we miss anything, he's going to keep us on track. My God, we got everything right there. And so, Bill, can you set the stage for us? Why are we here today? What is at risk? And Janice, right after Bill, you can jump in, and then Peter, I want you to come back and talk about the impact of, if on the worst end, while we talk about what's at risk. So, Bill, what's at risk right now?
Well, there's the freedom Peter mentioned, if people lose their attendance, they may lose the freedom. Peter went in an institution. He was separated from his family as a kid. It was horrible. But what we have is that the PCA program costs some money, but it's reimbursed half by the federal government. And what does it do? It supports close to 50,000 people with disabilities, including many seniors and kids. And there are 65,000 PCAs roughly unionized. And there's a proposal to restrict eligibility that would cut 6,000 people from the service and would cut it off for people in the future, a certain segment. So you're looking at 6,000 people who may go without services. And this is a federal investment too, and PCAs take the money, go right into the community and spend it. So let's look at what's at stake here. Who's in this game? We're in Boston, right? We're in this, liberal, progressive, blue state, whatever you want to call it, right? We talk about intersectionality. We all believe in it here, is going to be my guess. But this program embodies it live. What we are doing with the PCA program is allowing disabled people and elderly people to live independently. So we're attacking historic, deep-seated ageism and ableism. The workforce are typically low-paid people, women of color, brown people, Black people. So we are attacking and women. So we're attacking historical gender bias. We're attacking racism. And we finally get a decent wage. To their credit, the administration, the Healy administration, signed a good contract with the union last year. But now we're going to see, thousands of PCAs perhaps lose work. We're going to see people lose services. And it's kind of a class thing. We're finally getting a community uplifted. So we see our battle to protect these PCA services fully in this window of intersectionality live. This is not rhetorical. This is live. This is live. And this is half the program's federally paid. If we were getting money for some big federal investment, $1 billion, we'd be celebrating, we'd be cutting ribbons, you name it. We'd be doing all those kinds of things. Here we're getting money and we're going to potentially give it away. And those checks get spent within days right in our neighborhoods. But Janice knows that story better than I. She lives it, and she's a PCA and has folks in her family benefit.
I help my mom who has dementia and Alzheimer's, and other conditions as well. Emphysema, CPD, COPD, and it's tough because we PCAs don't get paid enough. During the pandemic, many of the nurses got removed from the home, and PCAs had to do everything. And we don't do this for the money because we don't get paid enough. We have to know how to do change a catheter, how to do a Hoyer lift. And that's something that, if you don't change a catheter properly, your consumer can die of an infection. It can cause you a tough infection. And if you don't know this and you're not trained properly, like the 1199 is training us, your consumer can, die on you or get into a condition really bad, because the state decided to remove nurses during COVID. A lot of our PCAs during COVID also lost jobs because the consumers did not want them to go in there and their homes because they were afraid of COVID, or others had to move in with their consumer because the consumer was like, you know what, I want you to stay with me, but you need to live with me. So basically on a day-to-day basis, and this cut is hurting us. Why? Because a lot of us PCAs, we have to think about putting food on our table or paying a bill. Putting food on our table or whatever we need to do. Like if you have kids, if you can afford to get them to baseball or an activity, because it costs money. So PCAs are expecting a lot. I'm also a CNA. I'm also a medical assistant. Um, and still, the state is just not thinking about it. Keeping somebody in their home where there's, like Rita said, freedom, a stability, because you want to stay home. You want to be in the world, in the world. Right now, Peter is right now with us having a meeting, or if he wants to go out, he has that freedom to stay in their home, and it's critical. It's very critical. It's very critical because um, a lot of consumers don't have a family, and we PCAs going in there is their family. So basically, it's very, very critical. This program, and it just people don't understand that in the future you're gonna need a PCA. So it's right now cutting those 10 hours is very, very critical. It's very, very critical, and the state needs to understand that we don't do this for the money. A lot of us do it because it's our heart. Sometimes we work more time than we get paid. Um, so it's just, we don't have benefits. Basically, a lot of PCAs don't even have health insurance, and we work for Mass Health. You would think that Mass Health would give us at least standard care, but they don't. They really don't. We PCAs do suffer day in and day out. And like I said, we struggle, and still from the pandemic. I still haven't gotten out from my bills, and how my bills, I'm still struggling, and I know many other PCAs are struggling, and right now, it's causing anxiety for a lot of PCAs, especially those 6,000 PCAs, um, where it's going to be tough because they're going to go under depression, anxiety, panic attacks, and it's just a lot of stress. I live in the projects in Worcester. I live in River Valley. I'm not even gonna be shy about it. I'm proud to where I'm at, because this is me. This is what I can afford, and being a black brown person, um, it's tough, and it's attacking us, the black and brown people, women of color, because the majority do this. Yeah, we have a couple gentlemen doing this job, but if you see, there's many women. It's mostly women who do this job, and we do this because we love it. We love our elderly and disabled people, and it's not fair to us at all. And it's I'm sorry, but I can't be quiet. It hurts, and it's a day to day struggle that we live in this day.
Janice, there's so much that I want to circle back with you, but I want to allow, Bill gave us the policy, you gave us the personnel. Peter, on behalf of the people, the person, the impact of what Bill said, the impact of what Janice said, you were here. And I'll be very honest with you. My team said, Jimmy, one of the consumers are coming in, and just you may have to provide them some assistance with, set up and guide them through. Peter, presumably, you popped on the screen and was sound and set immediately. Who helped you with that?
Actually, I'm lucky when I'm in my motorized wheelchair. I'm in a motorized wheelchair. I guess I should have mentioned that.
Yep.
A reclining wheelchair, though,
Reclining, by the way.
because you can't sit upright. Yeah.
I have enough hand movement
Okay.
where I can do a mouse, and I'm pretty adept with the computer. I got a computer, and I've got voice activation as well on the computer with Dragon.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of Dragon.
I have heard of it. Yep.
Okay. So that's how I'm able to work, by the way, because there's a lot of documentation at my job. So I speak to the computer. But in order for me to get
Come here.
in order for me to get to where we were at when you came on, my PCA woke me up early this morning, gave me my breakfast, washed me up, put my clothes on me, helped transferred me into the wheelchair with a Hoyer lift. Isn't that funny how Janice mentioned Hoyer lift? I know her pain. because I use a Hoyer lift and my PCA does. And if you don't do a Hoyer lift just right, you can actually kill someone because the drop. So I feel her pain when she says that.
And that's why it's so important that the consumer controls, because everybody is built differently. All our bodies and our physiology is different, and the consumer has to direct. So we're all for training and everything like that. But if you come in with the textbook, this is how you do it, it's not going to fit for Peter. He's lying down because he has to, and it's real delicate. And Janice knows this too.
And I wanted to add.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm sorry. I wanted to add one of the things that, we're mentioning about cuts to the PCA program. One of the things I went through one year was when I had my reevaluation, it was to the point where I could no longer feed myself and I had to eat in a specific way. And Mass Health actually denied all of the time for the PCA to feed me. So I had to go through to a hearing for that. So, I mean, this is the kind of things when you're talking about everybody's body type is different.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
That's just a prime example. Luckily, I got a doctor's letter, and at the hearing, the nurse who was representing Mass Health actually knew me and just said, okay, we're putting that all back in. But just to have to go through that as a human being, that's dehumanizing. What do you mean you're not going to give the PCA time to put food in my mouth? So, I mean, these are the things that happen. The budget cuts. No one, I don't care if they only need 3 hours a week. If they need help, they should be able to get it through the PCA program. They shouldn't have to worry about the state saying, oh, you only need 3 hours. You don't need the PCA program. No, you do need it. You do need it. Doesn't matter how much time you need per week. If you can't put on your shoes and socks, if you can't wash properly, if you can't give yourself medicines yourself because you don't have the dexterity, whatever, you need to be able to get the service. And we're not talking about having an agency come in. That's the other thing I want to talk about, the uniqueness of the PCA program. Bill explained it earlier. It's the only program where I get to decide who comes into my home, how my care is provided. That is important to me. I don't want to rely on someone telling me, oh, I was trained to do it this way. Well, my body doesn't allow you to do it this way. Yeah.
Peter, Lord have mercy. Janice, I see you trying to jump in there. Peter, thank you for keeping it all the way 100 and really speaking to us about this is important of the personal impact. Janice, from a personnel perspective, whatever perspective you want. Bill, we're going to jump back to you. I'm in the process now of getting a link up. Bill, if you could re-put that, for some reason it's not coming up, but I want to make sure we get folks that link. I'll figure it out over on this end. But Janice, where continue from where Peter left off.
It is true. Actually, the state wants to cut meal preps for consumers to PCAs go in. So basically, it is also critical. It's just a lot of cuts left and right. Just the major one is the 10 hours or less. But they do want to cut meal preps as well. Which, how is Peter gonna get food for himself when he can't even reach the stove or something because he can't do it? So how is that possible? It's very, very critical. It's very critical. Like Peter stated, if you don't know how to do a Hoyer lift, you can drop the person and you can break somebody, a person's bone or something, and 1199 SEIU trains us to do that. They train us to do proper things, and this is really, really critical. And people need to understand I can't stress it enough. It's just really, really, really tough. We're living in a situation that PCAs are getting what do you call it? Depressed, anxiety, thinking about, oh man, how am I gonna pay now? How am I gonna continue to pay my bills or keep my home or my apartment that I'm in? So it's just it's tough. We're living in a situation that I don't know what we're gonna do. But 1199 SCIU is not gonna step back. We'll keep on going forward, and we'll go to back to the state house as many times. I don't care driving to Boston, how many times I have to go. I always do. Um, that's I've been an activist since I was 3 with my mom, and now I care for her. So it's my time to be an activist and to show our state that PCAs need to be respected because this is a job. A lot of people think this is not a job, but this is a job. During the COVID, they called us essential. Well, keep us essential and pay us what we need to get paid for.
And that's the thing that's so interesting to me. If I could just park right there for a minute. So when you said that they removed the nurses from the home, but the PCA still had to go, I'm just, so with all due respect to PCAs and what they do, that skilled level nursing, and so that's a whole nother Zoom by itself around the equity of that. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. This whole thing is about it. This is a draped in equity all around for huge segments of our community, man. The PCA community is over 100,000 people, right? You add up 50,000 consumers, 65,000 PCAs, family members, we'd be the 4th or 5th largest city in the state if you put us all in one place,
So let me clarify. Those numbers aren't national. Those are state numbers.
That's in the state. Yeah, we're talking about the state.
Just want to be clear. Yep.
Yeah, there's probably 40 to 50,000 people on the program, and there's about 65,000 PCAs. So, and then there's family members and whatnot. So, you got Boston, Worcester, Springfield, and then we'd be up there with Cambridge, Lowell for biggest city in this, 3rd, 4th, 5th biggest city in the state.
And there's still shortage. So there is still shortage of
wait. So at level staffing and level funding right now, there's a shortage.
Yes.
Implications.
Yes.
I can speak to the shortage. It took me 5 years to recruit a second PCA to work because there's just no one out there. When people said, they were looking for $30 an hour, $25 an hour. One person actually emailed me back and said that if I thought I was going to find someone, I was crazy because of the rate of pay. And I get it. The rate of pay, it's not what, I went past a gas station, and the gas station was offering $21 just to start as an attendant.
And that's important work too.
Right.
I told y'all in advance that I feed off the energy of what my guests say, and I'm somewhere between hot, pissed, ready to rally. Just Jesus, Lord, help me. Go ahead, Janice.
Yes, and then how Peter said about hours. A consumer who has, let's say, 65 hours, and it's just one PCA because they feel comfortable with that PCA, and that PCA has those hours. You have to every month you got to fill out a paper if you do 50 hours or more. This is where Mass Health stops you, and it's like you got to run around with the paperwork every single month about those hours. So if Peter has the same example, 65 hours, I have to go and fill out the paperwork after 50 hours for to be signed off on.
Actually, it's good for 3 months.
Now they changed it from.
No, it's always been 3 months.
No, some people have it a monthly.
I never heard of that
some PCAs have it monthly.
Okay. But what that shows right here is that there's inequity in the process, or there needs to be clarity around the process, because then if you don't do the process right, guess what? They're coming after you to let you go.
Yeah.
Or and what that does is pull you away from the Jesus Lord today. Okay,
Well,
go ahead, Peter.
so the overtime policy, you know, when they first, what happened is companionship laws changed. It used to be that I had a live-in PCA. It didn't matter how many hours they worked because they lived with me, so they didn't have to get overtime. But then the courts changed that law.
Well, actually, the Obama administration was more liberal with overtime policy, and then there was a real concern it would cost more. But what you talk about is paying people the just wage they've worked and earned.
So what happens is Mass Health originally only wanted to cap us at 40, say we're not going to allow a PCA to work more than 40. But thanks to the great advocacy efforts of BCIL, the disability community, Governor Baker actually said, okay, we'll let PCAs work 50 hours. And then they put in this mechanism where if you needed more time to find a PCA, you could request overtime, which is what I do religiously because I can't find enough people to work.
And your primary PCA is from Brazil, right?
Yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to mention too. What's really hurting the disability community from finding good PCAs is the PCAs that are out there, people who would be good PCAs. They don't have, because they come from another country, they don't have documents.
Bill, Peter, hold on. If you need to take a second to please, we'll pause.
I just want to get a sip of water.
Go ahead, sir.
Thanks.
Bill and Janice, Jesus, Lord have mercy. All right, so we need
we just blew your mind.
It does and it does. It does and it doesn't. It does in the fact of getting the real impact of policy, personnel, and people. But it doesn't blow my mind in the fact that of the intersectionality of the lack of equity around health equity, equity for those with unique abilities, health or equity for BIPOC women who are that thing about COVID, and y'all had to stay in, but they pulled the nurses out. I just, I'm not a provider. It just doesn't, it's like putting a square peg in a round hole. It doesn't make any sense to me. Bill, we need to get ready to jump to action. Like, what is the action? Shout out to Andrew, who is in the building, as I say, or in the room. He put a link to SEIU. The link here in the chat you tried to send over. Bill, it didn't work for some reason. I clicked it and it's coming up blank. But and you can tell us, and I'll type it in right here and get it out.
It's a long link. Unfortunately, the whole link is everything I put in the chat, which is many words.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it didn't come out for whatever reason. What we're doing, the disability community and BCIL has been out front. The union, 1199. We're working like this. This is a total partnership. We met with the governor. We've rallied at the governor's office. We protested. No euphemisms here. We had about 200 people that kind of shut down the office on March 20th. Another strong crew. A couple of weeks later, we met with the governor. Kudos to her for meeting with a few of us. Janice was there, shared our concerns. But we're looking to the legislature right now to help us. The House just passed a budget that says there can't be changes to the PCA program, and we're hoping the Senate goes along with this so we can put some rationality into this whole discussion. Suddenly facing these draconian cuts where people will lose service, they'll reduce meal preparation time, which could be nasty for people with specialized diets. So we're looking for folks to contact their state senator, not Markey and Warren, but your state senator, Liz Miranda, for instance, Boston, Michael Rush, others, good people. Contact the chair of Ways and Means.
And Aaron.
Michael Rodricks of, the South Coast, Senate President Spilka. We need support to stop this cut. It becomes a very traditional kind of political game. And we will continue to be out on the hustings. Janice is not shy. Our members aren't shy. We respect the challenges state government faces, but I think you've heard it loud and clear today what's on the line. And, when you think of it, we have an aging population in the state. We read about that every other day, right? It will be a population that will need care. And I'm telling you, if we don't have PCAs, a lot of that care will end up being institution-based, not community-based, the way most people would prefer it. And if we didn't have immigration, we'd have no home care programs of almost any kind in the state of Massachusetts. We are blessed with a flow of immigrants, but not everyone can work, as Peter said.
I want to give Peter a sec, if you don't mind, Janice. I want to give Peter a second. Oh, Peter, that's you. Okay, go ahead. I'm trying to fix the link over here and talk.
One of the things that really struck me was I always believed that Governor Healy was an ally of the disability community because she showed up at like the 30th and 25th anniversary of the ADA and this was before she was governor. So, she made it sound like she was all for us. She was all for PCAs. And then for her to propose these budget cuts, it's contrary to what I thought she was, based on as she spoke at those two major events for people with disabilities. And then to go say, oh, by the way, I'm going to take the rug right out from under your feet.
So yeah, we're hoping she'll get back on that.
I'm going to inquire.
Bandwagon. It's a tough job she has, but we were surprised. It's fair to say we were surprised. Yeah.
And I was disappointed, as
a consumer, Bill, you move in the policy space and getting Peter. Not saying that you don't, the respect of balancing, but Peter, at the end of the day, you're the person that is impacted by this. So to hear that expression of disappointment. We've been trying to check in with the governor around a couple of things, and so we'll add this once we get to chat.
And the worst thing is, I've called the governor's office a couple of times, and now you get a robo. You don't even get a live person. It used to be when I would call Governor Baker, Deval Patrick, or Governor Weld's office. At least I got to speak to someone. Now you don't even get to speak to anyone. And they don't return your call.
I like what you said, Jimmy. This is consumer driven. The voice of Peter is the key one, and like him. Thank you.
Yeah. And with all due,
like she's trying to shut us down. Leave a message. What kind of governor are you?
I thought you was going to say something else, Peter.
No.
I don't have the 7-second bleep.
Listen. This is a family show.
Yes, sir.
If you want to talk to me
after dark,
yep. If you want to put me do a special podcast with me, unedited, that's one thing. But this is a family show.
Denise, I'm going to allow you to close us out. Peter, is there anything else you just wanted to share with community? Currently, you see on the screen, and we have hyperlinked it in the comments as well, for you to go click that link and put your support behind the PCAs. SEIU 1199 is doing the organizing there, and so add your name to that list and fill it out. It's so awesome when you're able to go to the office and drop this list, or if you have to electronically send a PDF of who done signed, the more numbers and names that they have on that is better. So that is there as well. We also have Tony is saying you can also go to the Boston Center for Independent Living. When Peter's giving his closing remark, I'll figure that link out and put that up as well. But the action is right here.
Well, I just want to thank you, first of all, for allowing me this platform. It's really been great. And I want to thank Bill for inviting me. That was great. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad I got to share my story, some of my experiences. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate what you do. Got a great podcast, and I hope it continues for a long time. And to my brothers and sisters in the disability community, persevere. Don't give up. Even when it looks you're in your darkest hours, don't let the darkness overwhelm you. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Perseverance is the key word of the day.
Hold on, because we went a little bit long today, and I got to my
Okay.
personal care attendant, aka Alexa. Alexa, cancel. Sorry.
Ah, I love it. I love it. I
At
hope
least-
you invite. I
At
hope you
least,
invite
at
me
least my
back
Alexa
again.
did not answer you.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm so sorry. Bill, we have the policy piece. Janice is going to close us out with the policy to people and the personnel in this piece. So, Bill, what is it that we need to know that we haven't covered here as we get ready to wrap up?
I think you've nailed it so much. You know, we've been doing this for 50 years. The organization created the state's PCA program in 1975. We're just looking for support. I think people, you know, you tend to segment people, and we are part of the community. People with disabilities, seniors, and PCAs. We're organic to the entire state of Massachusetts, and want to be integrated, want to be part of it. So I really just, you know, I think listen to what Peter said and what Janice have said. Theirs is the message that BCIL and 1199 embrace.
Absolutely. Janice, take us home, sis.
The link that I put in the chat, you guys can click that. It takes you right to your representatives to email them actions on May 15th. We will be going to the State House where we invite anybody, any PCA, anybody who wants to come along. We'll be at the embracement as well, because then we'll be marching to the State House.
You're meeting where?
May 15th. May 15th.
You're
Yes.
meeting at the Embrace Memorial?
Yes.
Go ahead.
We always end up there because PCAs are not going to be silent anymore, and it's just critical. Enough is enough with disrespecting our elderly and our disabled people because they are human. They are very talented. There's a lot of them who are engineers, doctors, or nurses. Doesn't mean because they're in a wheelchair that they are not human. Well, guess what? They are. They just need a PCA to take care of them, to get them ready so they can go off to work. They are human, and this is critical. So this is a call out to all PCAs. Stand with us. Please fill out that that link. And we, if you guys need to contact me or something, 1199 is there as well. Our great Vice President, Becca Gutman, she's great. She will contact you with anybody that she needs to. Shout out to all my 1199 SEIU organizers as well, because it's critical. They say, they are the 1199. Well, no, we are 1199. We're the union. Our organizers, like I call them, are our backbones. They're there to support us and to always give us the information that's going on. We can't do this alone. We need to help people, our people, our brothers and sisters like Peter and everybody else that's on, who is elderly, who is disabled. Enough is enough. And this is a racial justice issue.
Health, equity, justice,
everything. It's tough. We just had a contract. I thought it was an amazing contract, but guess not. They're trying to cut it, and it hurts. It really hurts, and it's devastating to us, PCAs who are living this day in and day out.
Janice, Peter, Bill, learned a lot today. Unfortunately, some of what we learned is very disappointing in Peter's words. But we with this, don't let it just folks that are listening, that are just tuning in. We're supporting PCAs. There is a link. It's hyperlinked in the comments. Go and support the PCAs. Add your name to the list. I just need one point of clarity. What time are you meeting at the memorial on May 15th? So I can put that in the banner there.
Bill, was it at 10 o'clock?
No, I thought it was 1 o'clock.
Oh, 1 o'clock. Okay.
Okay. So we'll put 10 o'clock earlier.
Yeah.
And then if we find out it's later, you know, folks will take that extra 3 hours. So we'll put 10 in there. And if you still go at 10, I'm sure some folks will be around and y'all can talk and rally and check in. So we'll put 10 a.m. for now. And to make sure that folks know. And if there's an update, you know, either you, Bill or Darren, y'all can let me know and we'll get the update out there. So there is an action plan for May 15th at 10 a.m. Meet at the Embrace Memorial and march to the State House. If you're not able to do that, you can contact your state senator and express your support for PCA workers and the people that they impact, and also hyperlinked in the comments. But here it is as well for those of you that do the screenshots. This is the link to go and put your support behind SEIU, along with what Bill is doing with the Boston Centers for Independent Living. And so I really appreciate all of you being here. Janice, and to Peter, to you especially, for helping us. We cover policy all the time. We do have people in as well, not as much personnel, Janice, but this was very special and unique today, sort of taking me back to the roots of this platform. And so I appreciate all three of you being here, and this will be evergreen on all the platforms. So y'all tag, share people who you need to, whatever. Peter, don't be surprised if the team cuts you up a little bit. You see yourself in some reels. Bill, please make sure I get everybody's social media so I can tag them, and we'll be good from there. But I appreciate all three of you being here. Strength, joy, and good health. All three.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. Ironically, we're going to Janice, we're going to show the Mass Health Connector commercial for you know, the 1099ers and the unique gig workers. So thank you all for being here. We're going to take a break and we'll come back and recap and share some other things, and we'll be right back with you shortly. Thank you.
For the innovators, the dreamers, the risk takers, independent workers who keep our neighborhoods thriving, Connector Care from the Massachusetts Health Connector has plans for every lifestyle and budget.
Having access to affordable healthcare is for everyone in our community.
Connector Care plans help more people save on healthcare that covers all their needs. Find out if you qualify for Connector Care. Visit mahealthconnector.org or call 1-877-MA-ENROLL.
This is fuel. This is growth. And this is our Earthshot. A reboot of belief in our ability to live sustainably. A renewable source of the one resource we can't live without. Hope.
Folks, we are back. Listen. I got some commentary. I'm going to behave. It is 9:53. So very eye-opening. Very, very eye-opening. And I just so many implications, the intersectionality of the potential to have to increase equity in so many spaces, health equity, economic impact, where the PCA spend the money locally. Nope. Okay. Miss T, thank you so much. Thank you for my gift yesterday. You about to be back on GR. Few things. This evening, we had the opportunity to speak with a young lady that is doing great things in our community under the theme of parties from above. She also does some work with some young women. And so we're coming back for a special Java After Dark this evening at 7 p.m. Please plan to join us and be a part of that conversation. 7 p.m. this evening. She's coming here in the home studio live. And so that's even a whole different cadence for the conversation. Also, please do not forget, next Saturday, we are having the Your Healthy Java Joseph R. Betancourt Health Fairs taking place next Saturday, May 11th. 2024 at the Thelma Burns Building, 575 Warren Street from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Go to this link here to register. Now, listen, of the first 100 people that register, and if you are one of the first 50 people that show up that pre-registered, you are automatically entered into a raffle to receive a $100 gift certificate. I got a confirmation email yesterday, and I'm fighting in the budget, and Aaron and the team and I are trying to figure out food and whatnot, but we're minimally, we're probably going to give out probably about a good we're going to give out a few $1,000s of gift cards, giveaways at the health fair. But the most important information that you will receive at the Your Healthy Java Joseph Betancourt Health Fair is health information. We have about 25 to 30 tables that will be in the space. Wellness, I'm at a point now where I'm actually going to have to put some folks on a wait list to have space. If it's a nice day, we may pull some things outside, but I ain't dependent on that because we live in New England. And climate change and all that is causing the weather to be very interesting. So not going to get too far deep into that, but please, I'm not messing with you. Mama Java, thank you so much for that. Pops is in the building. Pops is going to come on soon and chat with us about Stroke Awareness Month. He has been very public and an advocate around stroke awareness. He had a mini stroke a few weeks ago. And if you follow him, somebody, I'm going to talk to Anthony and them, because with all the footage that Pop's got, we can do you talk about commercial break. We can do a nice commercial break with Pop's journey, with him capturing his healing and his progress. And so he'll be coming to chat with us, soon as well. So thank you so much, Auntie Java and Pops. I'm glad that you're in the building. Keep on keeping on, brother. We love and appreciate you. That is it for us on our daytime segment this week. We will be back this evening at 7 p.m. And then on Monday, we are, I think, hold on. Let me find out what we're doing Monday. There are a couple of affinity months for the month of May. It is a stroke awareness month. It is minority, I'm going to say of color. Is it mental health? I think no, that's July. We have some great programming coming up for you here this month. All right, here we go. So on Monday the 6th, we have what is meditation and how it can help with stress. On the 7th, we have Pam Leans, who's coming in from Equity. And then also on the 8th, we have Jaron, and then on the 9th, Clementina Sherry. So those are who we are lining up for next week. And on the so for the Mondays, we're partnering with Pure Spark. And the next few Mondays include the 6th, we're having Eva. We're going to talk meditation. On the 13th, we have Christine, who is talking about anxiety. And then on the 20th, we have Yolande Borsquat, coping skills for stress. And then on the 27th, we have Nael, culturally affirming art therapy for trauma recovery. And so the Mondays, we're going back to Mental Health Monday for the month of May. And also we are having a special conversation. I got to figure out some things. I want to invite a couple of folks in leading up to Mother's Day who are survivors who have lost their children. And so we are getting working on that as well. So that is it for me, everyone. We will see you tonight at 7 p.m. Please come back as we talk with Parties from Above. And Saturday. Now the tickets are sold out. So Saturday, there is a live stream for TEDx. If you go to the Eventbrite, you can, I believe, navigate your way to try to find out where the YouTube link is. I will try to get that as well and post that up. But tickets are sold out for the TEDx Roxbury Talk on Saturday. I have the esteemed honor of co-hosting that with Courtney Boston. We were there last night. Got a sneak peek of some of the talks. And yeah, they're going to be great. They're going to be great. I think that's Nene in the building. All Rise 617 over on Instagram. We are surviving our living kids. We are surviving our living kids, or out surviving our living kids. And that is, Nene, that's real. That is real. Yeah. That we are going to have Dr. Yablo checking with us this month as well, around what the city's doing around violence prevention and things like that. Erica Steves, I just got through talking about TEDx Roxbury. Erica Steves, the visionary of that, along with this team, just jumped on our Instagram as well. So good to see you over there, as brother. Just mentioned, tickets are sold out. You are able to watch the stream that will be on YouTube to be a part of that as well. And so that is it for me. We will see you tonight at 7 p.m. Have a great evening, everyone, and we shall talk to you soon. Peace, everybody. Thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all.